I'm Tori, and today I'm going to be discussing Grave Ransom. This is the 5th book in Kalayna Price's Grave Witch series, and I listened to the audiobook narrated by Emily Durante. I love this book so much, and I can't really talk about it with giving away spoilers, so if you're interested in very fun, sassy, magical detective books, go read this book and all the ones before it, and then come back to hear my opinions. This book was so much fun. I love the addition of Alex's castle, and it's great that it appeared right at Alex's actual house. So now she has this big deserted house with all these cars parked out front, and everyone just uses the house as kind of an entryway and goes and hangs out in the castle, and they had to get the bicycles to try to get back to the door in time, and they have these big family dinners. The whole vibe was just great. I love watching her and all of her friends living at this castle, and it's perfect. It's great for everyone who's fae and needs to eat fairy food, and it's great for everyone who needs to eat human food. It's perfect for anyone who can't be in the mortal realm at sunset, and death can also go there too. It's just perfect. It's the all-access spa castle for anyone who wants to stop by. It was fun watching everyone settle in. I loved it that we finally got to meet the garden gnome who had apparently been there the whole time and we just didn't realize it. And I loved every scene that involved people trying to dash back to the front door. You know, like when the house was being attacked and everyone had to wander through the castle to get back to the house. Or when Briar showed up and was confused about why it took Alex so long to get to the door, and then Phelan had to be there and pretend that he was the reason that she'd been late, and it was just so great. I loved all the parts with Briar, actually. At first, you know, she's a very abrasive, obnoxious character, and she's still abrasive, but now it's just so much fun to watch her, and to watch her and Alex kind of verbally spar, and to watch them hang out. You know, Briar just kind of stomps into Alex's life, trashing it and not caring. It's like, oh yeah, I totally put a target on your back and made everyone think that you're wanted for questioning so that someone will try to murder you. No big deal. And she just laughs it off and doesn't care. And it was so much fun to watch them have to go, you know, even though they don't really like each other, they still had to go exploring together and go try to find out what's going on. It was great to watch them go hiking through the woods together and just hear them banter. I think they're going to become really good friends, and they kind of are already, even though they would never admit it. Phelan took kind of more of a back seat in this book. He wasn't, like, hugely prominent in any part of it. He was just kind of there always, you know, helping out, and he shows up when he's needed, and he answers questions, and he doesn't really even fit in with everyone else at the castle, but he's still there, and Alex tries to help him get along better with everyone else, and Phelan is just an awesome character, and it's great to see him, even if he didn't have as big of a role in this book as in some others. The mystery plot of this book was really fun. It was really interesting to see the necromancy body swapping whole story going, and, you know, it was so interesting, you know, that this is this way that people die and then they rob banks and all this stuff, and so of course Alex's clients don't trust her, and then the police don't trust her because they never trust her. You'd think they'd get used to it. Every single book, the police are like, Alex, you've done something wrong, haven't you? This is absolutely your fault. And you'd think at some point they'd learn to kind of take her word for it and figure out that weird stuff happens around her, and maybe you don't blame her right off because it's never really her fault. She just happens to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, always. I did also think it was really interesting that the necromancer purposely put people into bodies that were very different from their own, you know, different genders, different ages, everything to try to make them as uncomfortable as possible, and that worked. For most people, it made them really uncomfortable. But then for the person who had been this petite little helpless girl, we got into this big, muscly, scary guy's body, and she really liked it. So it was fun to see that, you know, his evil plan kind of backfired, and she was actually enjoying being intimidating. I did think it was kind of funny that there were absolutely no incidental cases. You know, Alex has a detective agency. She runs around doing all this stuff, and you think occasionally she would take some cases that didn't affect the overall plot of the book, you know, when they're just mundane cases. And she must at some point. I'm assuming between books, occasionally she gets normal clients who just want to verify a will or say goodbye to loved ones or something like that. But in this, every single person was involved. At first, you know, you think that Briar's following her, and the whole point of the scene is to show that Briar is interrupting Alex's life, but it turns out that those people were very important, and they were working with the necromancer all along. And then Rihanna and Alex are talking about a case, and you figure, oh, they're just chatting, because, you know, they would have to talk about work, but no, that case is very important, and it's also related to Alex's case, and it's gonna get Rihanna kidnapped. And I'm actually a little surprised this didn't happen sooner. You know, Rihanna has to be back in Fairy by sunset, or she'll die. And so of course she gets kidnapped and almost dies, and Alex manages to, you know, weave fairy around her, which is a really cool new power. But I was a little surprised that this didn't happen before, because you'd think it'd be terrifying if you will die in the mortal realm if you're there at sunset. You would think you wouldn't just wander around so casually, but I guess Rihanna knows she has Alex to come save her. So throughout this book, the only thing that really annoyed me was watching Alex and Death interact, because she is absolutely horrible to them. They should never have started dating. Alex doesn't love him, and she doesn't even treat him with respect. You know, throughout the whole book, he would say, I can't tell you this because it's part of my job and I have to, you know, I have to keep my career, which is, you know, what's keeping me alive at this point. I'm a soul collector. That means there are certain things that I just can't do. And Alex completely ignores that and makes him, like, manipulates him and tricks him and coerces him into doing all this stuff for her that isn't even for her personally. It's not like she's trying to save her friends' lives or something. She's trying to solve a case. She is working just like he is, and she can't respect him at all. And I just hated watching them interact the whole book, just like I've hated ever since they started dating. They have not had a good relationship at all. And so at the end of the book, when he finally dumps her, I was so happy. You knew they were going to break up, and I was hoping it would happen soon. I was so pleased that Death actually ended it. He didn't wait for Alex to end it. That was so amazing. Because, like, I really like Alex. I think she's a wonderful character, and she has a lot of good traits, but she is so cruel and so horrible to Death, and so to watch him actually dump her was amazing. And I just loved that part so much. It was one of my favorite moments of the entire book. He actually stood up to her, and now she can stop torturing him, and they can both go be in healthy, happy relationships. So yes, this book was absolutely amazing. I had so much fun with it, and I cannot wait to read the next Alex Craft adventure.